Welcome back. Welcome back. Missing Finn here, but we're starting off our playoff previews, play-in previews. Dallas Clippers, gonna be one of the best series I'm looking forward to. I'm super excited for this. Just the old heads versus fucking Luka Doncic and Kyrie is gonna be must see TV. I'm so excited. But we're going to get into some stats from the last month of the season, basically things to look out for, where each team is really strong and weak. And then we'll get into key matchups and guys to look out for. And then we'll just give our game picks. We don't know the spread at the moment for game one, or actually, maybe we do. I'll find that out. But we will start just talking about some stats here. The Mavs, we're also talking about just from March, and because this is where these teams are at right now. These teams, we're not talking about the beginning of the season when the Clippers really hot. We're talking about right now where these teams are. The Mavericks are fifth in offensive rating. The Clippers are third for the month of March. Mavs, 10th in defense. We said all season, this team is going to be legit when they figure out how to defend. And ever since the All-Star break, this team has been unbelievable defensively. They've gotten themselves up into that top 15 for the season. And being 10th right now is crucial because you can't win a championship if you can't defend. The best season we saw from the Mavericks was when they were defending the shit out of the Rock, when they made that conference finals run. And kind of the opposite for the Clippers, 26th in defense. Really, really poor. Just not what you want to see, especially when you have a couple lockdown guys like Terrence Mann, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Like, you don't want to see that you don't want to be that bad as of late. And then just net rating, like basically a combination of your offense and defense. How good of a team are you? The Mavs are 7th and the Clippers are 17th. Like, over the last month and just the last latter half of the season, the Clippers just quite frankly haven't been a great basketball team in comparison to how good we thought they were in the beginning of the season. And then one last thing here is their defensive rebounding. One of the biggest things in the playoffs is finishing possessions. If they miss a shot, you better get that damn rebound. We saw a team like Cleveland, who you would think is going to be a really good rebounding team, get absolutely demolished on the glass by the Knicks last year. It's one of those things that goes underrated and you just look at the offense and defense, but the little things like that, defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding, turnovers, all of that stuff are just super important. But the Mavs are actually 10th in defensive rebounding percentage. So they finish the possessions. The Clippers are 21st. The Mavs aren't a great offensive rebounding team, but they, against a team like the Clippers, who aren't very big and also give up a lot of rebounds, is something to be concerned about, to be honest. I know the Clippers offense is really, really good and they don't miss a ton, but when they do, if they have a cold night, the Mavericks are going to be able to capitalize on that.
That's a fact. And I think that's definitely due to Daniel Gafford. I know that he's as consistent and as efficient as they get. And that's what makes the Mavs so dangerous for me. I at first had the Clippers. I thought with the offensive capability of, just producing that they have, I think that now it comes down to who can clean up the boards, who can, get those putbacks. I think that's Daniel Gafford. I think that's Derek Lively. I know Zoo's there. Daniel Tice and Mason Plumlee. Am I correct?
Yep.
They're gonna have to fight.
They're gonna have to be dogs this series if they
want. Maxi Kleba, the Mavs come to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Currently, right now, the Clippers are slight favorites to win the series. I think that will change. I think the people are all going to be on the Mavericks, me included. No offense, Clippers fans, but I just think that this team is playing a little bit better. But let's get into some matchups that I think are going to be really important to watch. Starting it off here with, I think the most important is going to be the 6-man battle. I mean, whether you want to call it Russ or Norman Powell, I would lean Norman Powell, but Norman Powell versus Tim Hardaway. I think these are guys that are going to win and lose this series, to be honest. The Stars are going to do what they do. I know Paul George is probably going to have a rough game, or James Harden's going to have a really good game, or something like that. And like, these guys are going to go up and down, but you're going to get pretty steady productions across the entire series from those guys. But what are you going to get from a kind of a wild card in Norman Powell, who's had a really good season, but he's a bench guy and he should start on 90% of NBA teams, but are you going to get consistent 15 to 25 point games? I don't know. Are you going to get the same hot shooting from Tim Hardaway that you've gotten as of late? I don't know. And I think that's something that's going to be super important.
That's a fact. I know Norman Powell can spark it. I watch him do it consistently, can show up in the fourth quarter or even overtime if it comes down to it. So the crunch, or the clutch, crunch time, whatever. I think he shows up, can be consistent. I know his shot is consistent when he finds himself in that rhythm. So it's a matter of if he can find himself in that rhythm, and I think that Tim Hardaway has come to execute, because I feel he's been in in a lot of situations where him and Luca have had the time to succeed, and I think that now having Kyrie to kind of balance the weight of what it is that you bring to the team,
Scoring everything.
especially shooting from the arc. I think that that's what it comes down to. So that's going to be very exciting. Outside of the players, me specifically, I think that I'm most excited to see Ty Lue
That's where I
against
was
Jason.
going next.
You know what I'm saying? So that shows me brothers. You feel me? But like, it's all about coaching.
It is
And
playoffs. It's
so
coaching,
I
man.
know how Jason Kidd is I would say relentless and very um assertive with where his guys need to be, and also having the trust in his guys. And I know Ty Lue is big on trust as well, but it may be,
I mean, you have to
downfall
give
of
the edge. You have to give the edge to Ty Lue in this, right? You have to.
I,
I like Jason Kidd a lot. I do, especially for this team. I haven't liked him in his previous stops, but you have to give the edge to Ty Lue. I think Ty Lue is top 3 coach in the NBA. That's where I'm at with him, to be
and,
honest.
and shout out to Ty Lue, no diss to Ty Lue. My thing is, was it Doc's fault or was it LA's fault? And that's what it
I
comes
think
down.
it's true,
And
true. But
can
like,
Ty Lue manipulate that? As great of a coach as he is, it could be, oh yeah, it's Ty Lue, but let's separate from coaching for a minute and look at how the
it's
team is
definitely
able
coaching,
to.
bro.
But like, look at how the team is able to be coached. You can be a great coach, but if these niggas ain't worth the shit, you know what I'm saying? Then like, what you gonna
True, but the
do?
Clippers have a good team now, and they had a really good team with Doc too.
Are
But
but are
look, I
they
mean, just look at the Bucks.
are they in tune with Ty Lue? We just mentioned that they were doing great, for the beginning of the season, and it just seems recently that they've fallen off on all fronts. What you going to do about that? You feel me? Who's
Yeah,
responsible in that matter?
fair enough. I think a lot of the playoffs is who's hot at the right time. I think who has the momentum, and the Mavericks are playing the best basketball in the NBA right now, to be honest. Um, and just
MVP.
another, yeah, and they got the MVP in my opinion, in our opinion actually. But one other thing is just touching on the coaching. Jason Kidd likes to play at that fast pace, and Ty Lue is more methodical, and especially this team. Like think of a guy like a James Harden. He plays a little slower. He likes to work the half court game. And come playoff time, the pace does slow down. It just does. No matter what, it slows down. And we never expected a Luka Doncic team to be very in the top 33% in pace. This team is 7th. They're 7th in pace in the month of March. The Clippers are 26th. Like, I understand that the game is going to slow down a little bit, but that's when Luka's at his best. I mean, maybe it's not, but like, we've seen Luka with the teams with bottom 5 pace dominate because Luka is so talented in isolation and just in the half court that he can play any which way. And he's honestly really, really good in the half court. And if you can be able to be that multiple, especially against a team that likes to play slower, and I trust the ball to be in Luka's hands to manipulate the pace a little more than I do James Harden's at this point of his career. I just do. So I'm just pumped for this series. There's no game pick like spread at the moment, but there is the series. Who do you like? I'm gonna lean Dallas. I'm leaning Dallas at the moment.
I'll go Dallas as well. Like I said before, looking at what the Clippers are capable of, just because they have depth as well. My thing is, it comes down to functionality, and I may lean to the Mavs. I see a lot more chemistry. I see a lot more trust. I see a lot more fluidity within their game. You can tell by
They're
the trend
playing the right way, man. They're playing the right way.
they're playing the right way. I'm leaning Dallas, and I don't want to give any I don't want to give any disrespect to LA, so I'll say maybe 5 games, but it could get real ugly with
That's
Luka.
not disrespect. I
I
was
mean,
gonna say the series is minimum going 6-7 minimum.
I don't know. That's why I said I think Kyrie and Luca is different. You know what I'm saying?
I
The
do
way
too. I
they
do too.
move, and like I said, Gafford and Lively are big pieces. PJ Washington, big piece. Derrick Jones Jr. All of these cats, Dante Exum, Tim Hardaway, they show up for the moment. They show up to execute, and I think that's a test to Jason Kidd being their head coach. Jason Kidd has um, instilled that fundamental, but also assertiveness on the court and how it is that they attack in the offense and what it is that they run, how they set it up, due to who it is they have in the backcourt, Kyrie and Luca. And I think that definitely makes it different.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is going to be must-watch TV. I'm pumped. This is the first series we actually know about, so I'm yipped up. 1 week, fellas, 1 week. But like, comment,
Here.
subscribe. Give us your series pick in the comments, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.